There are many ways you can lose the trust of a hiring manager before you even get the job. This could be in the resume, during the interview, and these mistakes could be costing you the job. The first way that you can have a hiring manager lose trust in you is when your resume doesn't match the words coming out of your mouth. You're in the interview talking about your achievements in a past position, and it's nowhere on your resume. It doesn't even mention it. You're talking about being a project manager, leading a 5-person team. On your resume, it says administrative assistant. So what are we talking about here? Whether you're doing your resume, whether you're paying somebody to write your resume up, you need to become familiar with that. Read over your resume, especially if you did not write it. Read over it and understand that the success stories that come out of your mouth, they need to be grounded in your resume. Oftentimes, people talk about these amazing achievements, but when you look at their resume, they're nowhere in there. So there's a disconnect there. That can start breeding distrust. Next way is you lied on your reference check. Let me give you an example on how this usually works. You have a person that has a huge work gap and they don't want that to be realized, or they were working for some sketchy companies, and this is what happens. They give a reference, and that reference is not their past supervisor. That reference is their friend named Steve. And Steve is standing by the phone waiting to answer it, and he's pretending to be the supervisor. And a lot of people do it, believe it or not. This is something that people do. And will they catch it, right? That's the question. Will they catch it? Chances are initially they won't catch it. Now, this is an encouragement to go and do it, because what happens after the job offer is a background check. You might have to fill out an equip. That includes your work history. So could they catch it after you're doing your background check? Yes, they could. Will they? I don't know. But let's say 2 or 3 years go by. Now you're applying for a clearance, or now they're digging for whatever reason, and they find out that you lied on your work history. That's grounds for termination. That job offer that was extended to you, no matter how long ago, that is erroneous. It's no longer valid. They see you out the building. They kick you out the door. It's over. You're going to lose it. You're going to lose the job. Do not lie during the reference check. Next is you copy and pasted the specialized experience from the job announcement to your resume. Believe it or not, this is still being done. People are still saying this in Reddit, in a lot of the forums when it comes to government jobs. They're like, hey, here's a hack. This is a secret. Go ahead and copy this and then change the font to white. Make it really small, put it at the bottom. That way you're guaranteed to be referred. Will you be referred? Yeah, maybe you might be referred, but I tell you what, I know people that use Control F. They search through your resume using Control F. Let's say the position is for a financial manager. So they're going to Control F and they're going to type in finance, or they're going to type in budget, or they're going to type in whatever. And those keywords, they're going to see it. It doesn't matter that the font is white. It doesn't matter that the font is tiny. It's still going to pop up as a search, and they're going to realize that you're the type of individual that likes to cut corners, and you're not showing integrity and being trustworthy. So this is going to breed distrust. For a lot of people, this is an automatic no-go. You will not proceed any further in the hiring process. So don't do it. The next way is you do not know anything about the agency. You would be surprised at how many people either forget about the agency or they have never researched it. You're going into a room and you're interviewing with the Department of Justice, but you could not be bothered to look at their mission statement or look at their vision statement or see where the agency is at currently. You don't know the pain points of the agency. You know nothing about it. So when they ask you, why do you want to work at the Department of Justice? You're just looking at them and you say something generic like, I want to challenge myself. That's why I'm doing it. I'm looking for career progression. Those generic responses do not show that you actually cared enough to research the agency. And if you don't care enough about it, what does that show about you? Are you just checking the block? Are you just practicing at this point? Are you taking this seriously? Do you have a genuine interest in working in the agency? If you do, you better research. Do some research. It looks bad on you if you do not. Next is you fail to maintain eye contact and you start your answers with the word honestly. So with the eye contact, it's a little uncomfortable to look at somebody in their eye. And I understand that for a lot of people. So you don't have to look in the eye. Instead of that, look right here. You see this region right above my eyebrows right here? If you stare right here, look at me right here. If you look at me right here, I'm going to think you're looking at me in my eye. I'm not going to know the difference, especially if we're about 7 to 8 feet apart. I'm not going to know. So if you have a problem maintaining eye contact, do that instead. Now, when it comes to answering questions using the word honestly, it automatically shows that you're not usually honest. So now you have to preface your answer with the word honest, which is trouble for you. Don't do that. And the way people normally do it is you'll say, hey, why'd you leave your last job? And they're like, well, honestly, I was looking for a challenge. Why would you say that? Just say whatever you were going to say without using the word honestly. Because we're going to assume in this situation that everything out of your mouth is honesty. You're being honest with everyone. So there is no need to preface what you're saying with the word honestly. Now, losing trust is a two-way street. If you're in the interview, there are red flags that the hiring manager could be sending, and maybe you don't want to work for the agency. Maybe you have options, and that's good. You should detect whether this is a place you want to work at. First red flag, at least for me, is the hiring manager there? Because if they're not, what are we doing? Do you really care about the team that you're building if you can't be bothered to show up? Now, the first interview in some organizations, that's done with the team members. And that's strategically done because the team members will evaluate you and see if they even want to work with you as a coworker, and then the next level will be the hiring manager. Now, if the hiring manager is there, the next thing I would say is, do they even know where they're going to put you? What will you be doing? One of the thoughtful questions you could be asking is, what is expected of this position in the next 6 to 7 to 8 months? If they have no idea on what to do with you, that shows they're a little disorganized. That might not be a location that you want to work at for the next 1 to 3 years. That's another thing that you want to consider. Some hiring managers will be like, absolutely, you know what you're going to be doing? You're going to be heading up this special high-risk project and corresponding with GAO and OIG and managing these different offices. That's a clear vision. Now, if they're waffling around and they're giving you a whole bunch of confusing answers, well, that might not be an organization that's truly organized, and they could be experiencing high turnover. If you are still looking for a federal government job, two of the biggest federal agencies right now are the Department of Defense and the Veteran Affairs. And these two agencies, no matter what state you live in, they probably have a presence in your state, maybe around your area. But which one's better? Which one should you work for? If you want to know the answer to that, I want you to watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.